MSC Meraviglia. This is going to be a hot topic here for the next few months in the short time being. Stay tuned. I'm going to tell you about our experience. We just got off the ship today. Hey there everyone, it's Dennis with Salty Beach Travel, and as you saw in my intro, MSC Meraviglia. Oh boy, social media is going to be blowing up after this last cruise. The cruise I am talking about was from October 13th, Thursday, through the 16th today, which is Sunday. Now, mind you, this is my third time I've been on this ship. There's a few things that I have to get off my back that I'm going to rant about here a little bit. I'm not placing fault on anybody. These are my opinions. If you were on this particular cruise, I would love for you to comment below and tell us what you saw also. Maybe it was good, maybe it was bad, maybe it was, oh my God, I don't even know what to say. So, last Tuesday, when all of this started, MSC sent out an email and a text message. I received a text message that basically said, your check-in time has changed. We have a U.S. Coast Guard inspection at 10 o'clock Thursday morning. That's the day we were all going to be boarding the ship. The backstory is she was over in Europe for the summer. This was the first time porting back in the United States in probably 6 or 7 months. I know it was in dry dock prior to that. So they had to go through all the stuff with the U.S. Coast Guard. This safety stuff. Things that are important. So I'm guessing all the safety stuff, all the equipment, I'm sure the lifeboats got checked. I'm sure the fire suppression systems got looked at. It was probably going over with a fine-tooth comb. After talking with some of the crew, all the crew had to go through customs and get checked also. So right there's, let's say 2,500, maybe 3,000 people. Hard to say, right? Okay. This takes time. They gave everybody a specific boarding time and specifically said, please show up during this time so we can get you on a ship in a timely manner. Otherwise, we will be expecting long lines. Well, guess what? About 3,000 people showed up early. You want to know what that did to Port Canaveral? It absolutely overwhelmed the people in the port, the workers, the ones that register you, that take your pictures to get you on the ship in a timely manner. I've never had a problem at that port before. In fact, I think it's more efficient port than what Miami is. That is just my opinion. But, again, I've sailed out of there a couple times. It's gone fairly easy. It went better than Miami. We were to arrive at 1 to 1:30. That was our time. We got there. The line was 3 deep. It was the length of the building. We got there on time. We didn't get there early. We weren't the ones that overwhelmed them. We were in line for 4.5 hours. We didn't get on the ship till about 5:30. We spoke with the lady at the port because, you know, you could tell she was tired. And we were asking her, hey, what's happening, you know? And a little bit of an older lady, very, very nice. She did a nice job, I will say that. She said, we've been here since 6 o'clock this morning. Everybody showed up all at once. We can't keep up. We're terribly sorry. We're so sorry. We're like, hey, we get it. We followed the directions. A lot of other people did not. And you know what? I'm not going to blame MSC for people showing up early and ruining it for the rest of us. You know, first impressions are huge. Luckily, this is my third time on this ship. Never experienced this before. We got on the ship and the muster drill had already taken place. So what they were doing is they were basically directing you in and sending you right to your muster station so you could get your cruise card scanned in. Wasn't a bad idea, but it was still chaos because there were 5,000 people everywhere. Okay, we got through that. We wound up skipping dinner that night, and we just elected to go right to the buffet. By that time, everybody was kind of off and getting settled in a little bit and going off and doing their own things, so it didn't seem as crowded at the atrium. The bars were packed. I mean, it's a cruise. Why wouldn't they be, right? I went to the bar, I'll admit it. People were doing their thing. It was starting to relax and starting to calm down a little bit. We sailed away at 8 o'clock. We got out of there in time. Now, what I first started noticing was the crew looked absolutely exhausted. I didn't see one of them bright-eyed and bushy-tailed per se. You could tell they were tired. They were overworked. And then we come to find out that generally when a ship comes back to the United States and goes through the Coast Guard inspection, on top of it, they have to change all the money over to euros, to the US dollar. They have to reprogram all the slot machines. They got to put up new signage. They got to throw out the new menus. I mean, whether it's in German, Spanish, Italian, whatever, it's English over here. It actually takes normally 24 hours to turn a ship around like this when they come back over. So maybe that's on MSC. I would have to say so. And the other question too, why did they sell this ship out? Knowing that they were going to have to go through the inspection, and the inspection didn't take 2 hours, it took an hour and 50 minutes. They passed. That's awesome. Good job, guys. It's quite impressive, actually. Oh, what's next? Okay, so I'm kind of building a case here. MSC and passengers. I mean, is everybody guilty? Is MSC guilty? Are the passengers guilty? I mean, again, I want to keep this video interactive. I want to hear your comments. I want to know what you saw. Oh, and hey, while you're at it, if you could, get down and hit that subscribe button. We are sitting on 527 currently. I'm ecstatic. I think we're doing quite well, actually. I'd love to get a few more here and see where it goes. So Friday morning, we hit the port of, no, not Friday morning, I should say Friday afternoon at noon, we hit the port of Nassau. So as most of you cruisers know, you seasoned cruisers, veterans, you get into port, park the ship, they get the ropes out, they tie her off. Takes a little bit of time. The ship has to clear customs by whatever country you're in. The ship has to clear first. They came on the loudspeaker twice and said, "Please do not go out to the exit where the gangway is located. The ship has not cleared customs yet." I didn't see it. I don't know how many people there were. It's Nassau. What's the big hurry? I mean, come on. All right, whatever. That's my rant on Nassau. I figured we'd get some pier runners. I had a great spot. We didn't get any pier runners. We left on time. Everything was good. We went and had dinner that night. We enjoyed ourselves. We did check out the rock show. If you haven't checked that out, check it out. It was $18, but it was a great show. I'll probably have a video on it here in week or so. Next morning, we hit Ocean Key. Now, you've watched my other videos, obviously. If you haven't, get back and watch them. We love Ocean Key. That's just our favorite island, and what they're doing down there, I can't talk about that enough. Really didn't have any problems at Ocean Key getting on and off. Again, you have to clear customs, even though it's their own private island. The Bahamian government has to say, yep, 2 thumbs up, go right ahead. What I did notice, the amount of people coming back late. You're not going to have pier runners on Ocean Key. The ship's not leaving without you, because they're not going to leave you on their private island. Then they got to feed you and take care of you and stuff. I wouldn't mind it. Why would you not be back to the ship on time at the private island? So guess what? They had to put the pedal to the floor and drive out of there faster that night. Burning more fuel. Thanks. So let's get to this morning at the port of Canaveral. We got in about 6 a.m. I had a 1:30 flight, and so did my stepdaughter. Carrie and her son were actually going to stay one more day in Orlando and come home tomorrow because of flights. Plus the car's in Pittsburgh. I got to work tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. Everybody knows Orlando Airport is one of the busiest airports in the United States. You want to be there 2 hours before your flight no matter what. At least 2 hours. I knew that my drop dead time that I needed to be at the airport was going to be 11:30 this morning. We had a shuttle service that was supposed to take us back to the Radisson Hotel in Port Canaveral. We were hopping another shuttle, and that was going to take us to the airport. Everything was pre-planned out. This morning at 8 a.m., I'm up, I'm brushing my teeth. I hear the announcement come on. Ladies and gentlemen, we have not been cleared by customs yet. Please do not stand near the exits out towards the gangway. Okay, now, maybe somebody had an early flight. I totally get it. I don't know how many people it was exactly. I'm not 100% sure on that. But then the announcement came again. Okay, go over in the promenade. Go hang out in the theater. Go over to the TV studio. Go have a seat. Have a cup of coffee. Chill out. What's the big deal here? What's did you want off the ship that bad that you were just that unhappy, or did you not settle your cruise card and you wanted to see if you could take them? Because I did hear a lot of people saying crap like that. We went up to the buffet. We grabbed some breakfast. I got my coffee in me. Woke up here. Went down to our room, grabbed our stuff. We said goodbye to Judy, our room stewardess. She was just awesome. Hands down, awesome. Got us whatever we needed any time of day. We go from deck 12 down to deck 6. And everybody was exiting from deck 6, midship. We're walking through there, and I can't figure out the whole rhyme or reason here of the direction or the people flow or anything. All I saw was these long lines. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? And everybody had their luggage. Nobody set their luggage out the night before. Very few people did. The port was a ghost town with luggage in that room. I couldn't believe it. Everybody had their luggage. All right, this ought to be interesting. It's about 9:30. Thinking, generally you get off these ships relatively quick. You walk down the gangway, you walk into the building, they scan your face, have a nice day, see you later, come back soon. Not today. Apparently, everybody had to be off the ship at the same time. Just like the ones that got on had to be the first ones off. MSC was still calling the groups of numbers and getting them down there in line. Why they were doing that, I don't know. We were in line for 2.5 hours. We were standing outside of the ship at 11:30. And I'm thinking, I'm screwed. I'm missing my flight. Do I book another one? Do I spend another day? What am I doing here? And you know what? I wasn't going to be that person either that called MSC and said, yeah, you made me, caused me to lose my flight. Shuttle service we had saved my butt. If it hadn't been for them, I would have been late and missed my plane. I never heard so many complaints in my life. The stupidest complaints. This never happens on Carnival. I'm going back to Royal. I'll never do this again. This isn't for me. Okay, it's not for you. Okay. I've sailed Carnival. I liked it. I had a great time. I want to do Royal Caribbean. I'm sure I'll have a great time. I've sailed a ton of MSC. I've always had a great time. I just think it's sad that everything's shaped up this way. It didn't have to. And the bad part is, MSC's starting to make their presence here in the United States. They have 5 ships coming next summer. I can't wait. I've been on a couple of them. I'm going to go on the rest of them. I know that is not this cruise line. But I'm here to tell you, showing up early and ruining it for everyone else, that's just not right. Why? I understand. I want to be on the ship too. Believe me, if my time was 10 o'clock, I'd be dancing in the streets. I'd be ecstatic. I would be the first one there knocking on the door. My time was 1:30. I got there at 1:15, and I was the one out in line for 4.5 hours. I don't want to see on social media that MSC didn't give anybody water. There were pallets of water out there. They were keeping everybody hydrated. They were doing their absolute best with what they had to work with. Customer service, I feel so bad for them 6-8 ladies and gentlemen that had to work down there, because that line just never stopped. Yes, the kiosks to register your cruise card were not working the first night. They made announcements. Make sure you scan your credit card. Get it right with your room card. You're not getting off the ship with a balance. And then you're going to clog up the gangway. Guess what? There was probably 300 people at those kiosks this morning at the last minute, settling up their debt, settling up their cruise card. You know how many times I walked by those things and they weren't being used? I ran down the morning of the first day, registered mine, worked, boom, bam, done. I'm happy. I'm back off having fun. Why would you wait till the last minute and clog up the aisleways for everybody else? I just don't get it. MSC did give every room a $50 shipboard credit. I heard so many people, that's not enough. We're getting all of our money back. Wait until I make a phone call. I'm calling my travel agent. Well, you know what? Good luck. Because people like you complaining the whole time just made it miserable for everybody else. I don't mean to sound blunt. I hope I didn't offend you. But that's just reality. How I kept my cool, I don't know, but I did. I've been on this ship 3 times. I know what it's about. It's a blast. It's a beautiful ship. The food is delicious. I've always had a great time on this ship. As we were getting off the ship and they were scanning our cruise card, this is very unfortunate. And I mean, I don't even know what to say. There's 3 sheriffs standing there. They went on to the ship. I didn't see what happened on the ship. Carrie's in a Facebook group of this cruising, and we found out why they went on the ship. As we're going down the gangway, 2 more sheriffs are running up the gangway. A fight broke out in the promenade with several people. The sheriffs had to come on board. Come on. You know, if everybody would just keep their cool and follow directions, things like this wouldn't happen. Things would go so much more smoothly, more efficient. There'd be a nice flow of traffic through there. They'd be able to scan, look at your picture, come back soon, boom, come back soon, boom, come back soon. But instead, people are up at the front, get their cruise card scanned, and they still had a balance. Get real. Sorry if that offends you. Why? But it's like I said before, the service that we were using for transportation saved my butt. I thank them. Cocoa Beach, that's what they were called. They got me to the airport at about 12:05. The line for TSA, excuse me, was about 27 minutes. Wasn't bad at all. I got right through there. Jumped on the tram, ran over to Terminal B, walked right up, basically boarded the plane. What do I think the solution is? Well, here's the whole thing. We went on Virgin Voyages earlier in the year, and I didn't have the greatest of times, but I was still cruising. I liked it. But there was one thing that I really took away from that cruise, and that was what they had going on in the Port of Miami. They give you your check-in time. You have that days in advance. You know what it is. You want to be on the ship? I know, so do I. Brand new ship, scarlet and gray. Who doesn't like them colors? I love them. We got to the Port of Miami, and I'm looking around, and what are all these lines? At the end of these lines, there's a sign that had check-in times on it. 2 o'clock, you go in this line. 1 o'clock, you go in this line. Noon, you go in this line. 11, oh, go this way, you're getting on now. They enforced it. And it's sad that they have to do this, but that was probably one of the smoothest transitions getting onto a ship I've ever had. And believe me, 2 times at Port Canaveral, we were on the ship within a half hour. That's nothing. The transition that Virgin had going at that port. Do other cruise lines have to adopt this now? Hey, it's like I said. You want to get on the ship. You're excited for vacation. You're looking forward to it. I don't blame you one bit. You know what? We're exactly the same way. But I follow directions. That's just me. I've never been on a ship early. I've always been on time. Maybe MSC needs to take a look and see what Virgin's doing and then enforcing it. They're going to have to get more security at the port. They're going to have to get more cops there, more sheriffs. And you know what? I'm still a little fired up about this cruise. Don't get me wrong, though. I still managed to have a good time. But this is just so frustrating. And the way social media is going to blow up here in the next few weeks, if I was MSC, when they send the reviews out and people start sending them back in next week, I'd probably hit the delete button if I was them. They're going to get blown up. But believe me, when I do mine, I'm always honest about it. And I hope somebody from MSC reads this. Start putting the lines up for when people show up early, they go in their line to when they're supposed to check in. And that way, things go more efficient. You don't have people outside for 4.5 hours. I've never been so tired. Luckily, the sun wasn't out in Port Canaveral that day, or it would have been absolutely miserable. Thank God Mother Nature had an overcast. Alright guys, it's like I said, Carrie's still down in Orlando. I'm home tonight. I wanted to get this video off my chest. I want to be one of the first ones to get this out there because things are going to get interesting with MSC. I got 5 more ships coming, like I said. This cruise is probably going to be famous here for the next few weeks. And again, guys, if you were on the cruise, please leave some comments below. Tell us what you saw. Tell us what happened. Tell us your experience. Good or bad. Keep it clean. I mean, this is a fair channel. I'm not looking to fight with anybody or argue with anybody. I do reply back to all the comments. I would like to hear yours. Oh, here's the other thing too. There's a group of 10 people that did not get off the ship today. Instead of waiting in line, maybe they're smarter than us, I don't know. They went up to deck 15 and started drinking. They got drunk. They couldn't find them to get them off the ship. Guess what happens then? Everybody that's getting on is going to wait. You're delaying the whole next process. This is sad. You just delayed how many hundreds of people from their next cruise getting on the ship because you want to go up and start drinking. Now, I did get a text message from my wife earlier, and she said Meraviglia left at 6:30 p.m. tonight, so it got out of there about a half hour late. That's not bad, considering it's a 4-day. This time around, there was probably just as many people on it. Ship holds a ton of people. Alright, everyone. I hope you got to this point in the video. I thank you for watching, and let's see where this goes. We'll have more videos coming soon. Have a good evening. Goodbye.